Hello, everyone. Welcome to this nice show on Haps TV, streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, of course. My name is Alpha Saleh, and I know I'm not a familiar face. I was always expecting my mom, but then you got lucky, you have me instead. So tonight's show is titled Truths About Secondary School That Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, told you about. So I have with me two lovely guest co-anchors, namely Dara Olujide and Davina Alessi, both wonderful people and amazing friends. So we will start with a little to their personalities. So over to you, Dara. Ooh, where is he lucky? Where is he glitching? God. Okay. Connection lost. Dara, can you hear us? So I've asked you, I've introduced you. So like just tell us a little bit about yourself. So like the audience knows who you are because they know who I am. I actually don't think you can hear us, so I'm going to switch to Davina. Davina, are you
Can you
there?
guys
Are
hear
you with
me?
us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Can
So
you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
So I'll just start. Hello, my name is Davina Eleshin. My full name actually is Davina Toluanimi Eleshin. I am currently I'm entering year 11, so that is SS2. I turned 15 this July, and I find myself to be a sedimentary rock. I know you guys are like, what do you mean? When I say that I find myself to be a sedimentary rock, it's like sedimentary rocks aren't made up of like themselves alone. Different minerals have come to make them who they are. So I find myself to exist not because I am Davina, but because I learned from my experiences, and my experiences have dropped some things into me. People that have come into my life have dropped some things into me. And also, when it comes to like introverts, extroverts, or ambiverts, I don't really know what I am, but I know sometimes I like solitude. And I know sometimes I like to like express myself. So I think I would say I'm an introvert that likes to express herself.
I think that's actually the most absurd thing I've heard in a while.
Which part? The introverted like
Yes,
express, I don't know, say,
yes, that
or
part
the
because
sedimentary rock part.
the introverts part. Because like when people call people
Okay.
introverts, it's because they don't express themselves. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
I'll have you guys know. You might not know, but then Davina speaks French as well. And then I've been training her. I am a personal mentor, so I take pride in that. Anyhow, I'm going to move over to you now, Dara. Can you hear us? Are you
I'm
with
not
us now?
speaking right now. I'm just let me just tell you
Yeah,
right
I
now. I'm
can
not
hear you
speaking right now.
guys. I can hear
Indeed.
you guys.
Okay, so we can see you.
Can you
Introduce yourself.
can you hear me?
Yes, we
Okay,
can.
Yeah.
okay. So basically, my name is Darasimi Olujide, but my full name is Enioluwa Oluwa Darasimi Olujide. I am 14. I'm going to be 15 in the next 2 weeks. Yes, I'm Virgo and I'm very happy. And yes, like a few days ago, I was talking with Alpha, and then I don't know, I was just disturbing him casually in his DMs, and he was like, "Are you going to be free on Saturday?" And I was like, "Yes." Then he told me about this whole setup and show and everything. And then I didn't know it was going to be
Yeah.
like this until earlier today. But yeah, I'm happy. I won't really say I know much about
Uh,
myself because to be honest, I don't really know much about myself. But I know I'm living, honestly. I know
we're
I'm
all
living.
growing, we're all learning, discovering new things
But
every day.
yeah, I have had great friends that have helped me. What? I can't hear
Okay.
you.
No, no, we're not saying anything. Okay. So
Bro, I can't hear you.
now that both of you chill, 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 just calm down. Listen. So tonight here we're going to be talking about
Okay.
this topic, truths in secondary school that nobody told you about. So personally, I find this to be a very interesting topic, given the fact that when everybody is going to secondary school, like this set of cliches, these certain things that happen or are supposed to happen, whether or not they actually happen in the end, we don't know. And then a lot of parents send their children who often unsure with a lot of uncertainty because they don't know what is actually going to happen in the school, and then sometimes then the fear leads to some sort of overprotectiveness that the child will not spark against the parents because of. So I feel like this topic is really important because like we actually need to know, like we need to stop lying to ourselves as teenagers. There are a lot of teenagers that really don't talk about what happens in school. So like in Olashere now, you know how we have phone calls in my school. If a parent calls their child, "How are you?" "I'm fine." "How is school?" "School is fine." "How's your brother?" If you have one, he's fine. So like it's very basic, it's very plain, and then doesn't actually contain any flavor or anything. Doesn't tell you the truth. So me personally, I just feel like that's what the topic is about, to tell us or tell ourselves rather the truth. So I'm going to start with you, Dara. Is there any, or have there been any like circumstances or situations that you never actually expected before you started boarding school?
Oh yeah, a lot actually. Well, considering where I'm
What would those be?
from and how I was brought up, I wasn't really expecting much. What? I can't hear you. I actually cannot hear you right now.
Oh no, like just go on.
Oh, wow. What? Alpha, I can't hear you.
Go on. Like continue what you were saying.
Okay, it's fair. Okay, so depending on the way I was brought up, like because of the way I was brought up, I didn't really expect much when I was going to boarding school because I was already trained for that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So going there was like basically leaving my house for another house. Let me put it that way. Plus,
yeah.
I already had two older sisters that were in boarding school before me and tell me their experiences each time they got back home. And then I'll be like,
Okay.
you guys are really suffering and all
Yeah.
that type of thing. But what I didn't know was that boarding school can be interesting depending on how you decide to use it to your advantage. So one thing though that I never expected from boarding school that it gave to me, or my current school that it gave to me, was the fact that there was a specific way we were meant to do things. Like aside from school, like school everyday school, the boarding house was different. We had to wear certain uniforms, like our house was when we go back to the hostels, and we couldn't
Okay,
move
yeah,
out of the
yeah,
hostels without our
I remember that.
housewares unless we were going for social events or anything like that. We couldn't move out for
Yeah,
we couldn't move out
yeah.
without our housewares. And then yeah, and then there was just like a lot of strange things that happened. Our also parents were nicer than my sisters said they would be. But they were nicer than what they said hostel parents are meant to be like. So yes, that happened, and it was actually
You
kind
know,
of
because
strange and confusing
you got
because I was
lucky.
like, and this guy's meant to be wicked, like, and they meant to be beating me around, but these guys were actually lovely, and I enjoyed that fact. And then I enjoyed the fact that at least all of the hostel parents to relate with. What? I can't hear you.
Internet is good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so I like the fact
I'm
that most
listening.
of
Go
the
on.
hostel parents could relate with me well. And then because of the way my because of the way my dad brought me up, I couldn't really get scared of anybody. Like I didn't let anyone intimidate me. Although yes, there was
Yeah,
bullies.
I remember that
I
incident.
didn't expect bullies at all. Like my list of things to expect. But then there was then you know how bullies are when you don't show that you
Sure, what? Oh, I. Are we still with you? Well,
okay,
I think we lost him.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
I
hear
lost the
you.
connection. Stuff.
Okay, let's come. Go on.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so I wasn't really scared of. Okay, I wasn't really scared of bullies when I got there. So that made me and this other guy in a higher class than me like have this beef. Let me put it like that. We had a beef. We had trouble.
Yeah, between
We didn't
your
really
set
on good
and
terms.
set.
Okay, that happened. But then throughout my stay in the school, I realized, what? Okay.
No, go
Throughout
on.
my
Go
stay
on.
in school, I discovered that I had to make friends. Wherever it took me, I had to make good friends. And that's what I did. And I did that mainly with my seniors, my classmates, and my hostel parents and people in charge, like the authority or the authorities. I don't know. And yeah, that worked out pretty well. So I guess that's my side of the story. Just a little though. That's just like the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, that's calm. But then, like, were there any? I don't know. I don't know about you, but then, like for me, at the beginning of secondary school, yeah, I was a bit lost because I came to secondary school so driven. Like when I entered secondary school, I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I had literally planned my entire year 7 to year 12 as I was entering year 7. And then when I came, the circumstances that secondary school presented me just threw me off course. I was like, bro, what? So like I became so confused, and then my entire plan that I had been spending so long to construct and to make sure I worked out it to crumble before me. So like that kind of thing can be really disorienting at times. Especially now that we're in senior school and then like we're teenagers and everything, a lot of other pressures are coming because right now all most people care about academic wise is that you have to go to university, you have to do this, you have to do that. So like everything is just very, very overbearing sometimes. And then they don't tell you this. They don't tell you this when you're going to secondary school. When you're going to secondary school, it's unless your parents tell you your stories of their own days when they were in secondary school and everything, how they did like actual hard labor. That's when you begin to see that it could be stressful. But then apart from that, it's like it's painted. It's like secondary school is a land of sunshine and rainbows. But then like I feel like we have a lot of things to learn from it. We have a lot of things to learn from it. But then all is well, all the same. All is well, all the same. Uh, I feel like it's that like deprivation that we go through in secondary school that actually makes us to become more outspoken. It brings us out of our shell, especially when it comes to boarding school, because you're not staying with your parents, so most of the luxuries that you had automatically like disconnected. So nothing is happening anymore for a very very long time. So you have to like make do what you have. I remember this particular incident. It was when I was in was it year eight or something. Yeah, because we weren't allowed to really like play football because I think exams were coming closer and then a lot of things were restricted at least. And yes, we were juniors. So like the seniors used to be the ones that could actually play on the pitch. So we had to like look around for small spaces in the corners to play our football when the time came. So we were very, very football deprived. And then there are lots of my set mates at the time that really, really love football. So this is what we did. We actually in the rain because when it rains in my school, it's actually like pretty heavy because of where we are, like topographically. So it hits pretty hard. So when it hits pretty hard, obviously nobody's going to hear what you're doing. And then our hostel parents before that used to be like a hawk when it comes to watching us and keeping us in check. He would actually be incapacitated basically by the rain because it would drown out whatever noise we make. So at that point in time, we actually said that we should go outside and play the football in the rain, enjoy it. And I can tell you, this was like one of the most fun experiences I've actually ever had in my life because we were all wet, like soaking, and we're still playing the football like that. A lot of us actually got colds after, but then to some extent, it felt like it was worth it. And then
Yeah.
even after we played the football and everything, we went to the showers after having like, as we're having a bath, we still continue playing the football because like we're that rebellious. I mean, think about it. That's the kind of chance that you don't get in a well. So it was pretty fun, but then also kind of disorienting because like the day after, my one of my teachers now actually taught the entire class about tapeworms and how they live in the waterclogged areas like that. So a lot of us go paranoid. And then imagine that lunch after she taught us about that thing, we now had spaghetti. So like it's like you're looking at the worm as a I don't know.
Oh, oh,
It
oh.
was just
I know how that feels. I know how that feels.
it was very disorienting. But then like what I try to pick out from this story is the fact that bend when you try to bend like a rod of iron, like even this last holiday, I went to my dad's farm a lot, and then in the farm we were doing a lot of iron work to create pegs to mark different areas of the land and to tie drip lines and things like that. So when I've noticed that when you try to hit an iron rod so hard to bend, there are two things that can either happen. It's either it bends at will or it spins and it goes in the other direction. So most of us, what happened to most of us in secondary school, in my own opinion, is that we spun and went the other way because they tried to hit us so hard to conform to how secondary school is supposed to be like without actually considering whether we were going too harsh or it was actually tailored to our own expectations and our own needs, wants, and desires. So in many ways, it's kind of dark, but then it also holds a lot of valuable lessons for both the students and the chaperones, the teachers, the parents, the hostel parents that are taking care of us in school. So I don't know. That's like one of my experiences. Davina, what do you think?
Okay. Well, like,
Wait,
yeah,
Dara.
I had something similar to that, but not accurately like that.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
maybe not talking. I know that.
no, no, we're listening. I can hear you clearly. Wait, Davina, can you hear us? Yeah, but then I don't think we can hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you. Try to maybe unmute your mic and then like, sorry, mute your mic and then unmute it back. Let's see. No, we can't hear you, although I can see you. What are you trying to say? Maybe something wrong. Try to connect your earphones properly. Let's see. Anyway, in the okay, I think we can hear you. In the meantime, Dara, you can go on. You were saying something. Sorry to cut you short.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dara. Go on. You were saying something. You were like you had an experience that was similar to that, but not exactly the same. We want to hear it.
I say that that's something similar to that. Yeah, something like that. Something back in
CKC.
GS1 or
Okay.
ES
Year seven.
7.
Okay. So what happened?
In going
Although
to
Can you guys
football
hear me
this is
now?
supposed to be
incident,
boarding
yeah,
school
that
edition, so most of your
happened.
memories will be
I
tied to
played
boarding
ball
school
with the
level one.
yeah.
So go on.
Can you guys hear me now?
Okay, yes, Davina is back. We can hear you.
Yay!
After how long? You actually let me wait my story before you said what was going on with your sound. I don't know whether that's polite or just okay. So I think Dara might be cracking right now, so we'll let Dara rest. So Davina, do you have anything to like say?
Yes,
Anything
I
at all that
do.
like
I can't
actually
I
shocked you? Like when you saw it, you like,
see
bro, is this
I can't
actually
see
happening?
Davina. I
So I
can't
can hear
see
Dara, but
Davina.
he's breaking. I can hear Dara, but he's breaking. So should I just say what I
Yeah, I
want
think
to say
Dara.
and
Yeah, just
okay,
go and Dara will fix his connection and come
okay,
back
so
soon.
I entered secondary school for intrinsic. Like I didn't know what was going to go on. I didn't have any expectation. People just
Yeah,
told me that anything after primary school, I just knew that it would be a bit
Can you
different. But
hear
like my
me?
first few weeks, Dara, we can hear you a bit, but you're cracking.
Yeah,
go on,
My
Davina.
first few
We're listening.
weeks of secondary school were I didn't even they were hectic. Why? Because people kept on calling me snitch and because I said I like to express myself. If
Oh,
someone is making me feel a particular way, I wouldn't hold back. And if I know that I can tell someone that can handle the matter better, I know I would tell the person. But then they were always
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't do that. So I didn't know. I wish someone I just told me that I mean, I wish someone to, I would just wish someone to, I know it's not everything, it's something that you have to tell because they were like, wow, the other kind of stuff, my older sister. And my elder sister goes really well with seniors. So immediately I entered, I was a school daughter already. And they were like, just because you asked school, all that kind of stuff. And I didn't know what to do. So I just found my way. But I wish someone told me that what happens in your room stays in your room. Don't go and be doing aproko. Don't be doing amebo. Just
Yeah.
live your life the way it comes at you. Don't be doing here and there. And then something that happened to me in year nine was that most of when people always tell me, because I've heard it so many times, that don't let your friends choose you, you choose your friends. When people always told me that, I was
Yeah.
like, well, like I didn't
Yeah.
understand the
That
meaning
that
of
didn't actually
that
make sense.
till yeah, I didn't understand the meaning of that till year nine. When people that were like I was like this, people that were close, like the next day they'll be calling me names or they'll be giving me one kind eye or they'll be like the vibes I'm giving them won't be the same vibes I'm getting back. And that just made me kind of that I think that just made me want to be in a box. That made me want to be alone more because I was scared that
Yeah.
new friendships would end up like old friendships. So if I could go back, I wish someone told me that Davina, you see so many people that are funny, so many people that are this, and I really wish someone told me the difference between acquaintance and friend. Like there's a huge
Yeah.
difference. There's a very big
Yeah.
difference that we don't always see. We don't get to notice till we experience it. So I kind of wish someone told me that
Yeah.
it's not everybody that's going to be your friend. And don't talk to acquaintances like friends. Yes, if you need them for something, talk to them regularly, but then just say the regular hi, hello, bye, like the regular stuff. You don't have to be doing like you guys don't have to be friends. And I had this kind of
Yeah.
mindset that everything that's good leaves me because upon all the bad friendships that were ending, one of my friendships stayed the same. That was my best friend. But then she left the school. So I was like, oh my gosh, the only good thing I had in
Nah.
that whole school left me. And I got close to a senior and we were talking and all that kind of stuff. But because she was in her final year, she left me too. So I was
Yeah.
like, everything that is good is just leaving
That
me.
particular
That's how I
that
felt. I felt
experience
like
here,
every single thing. And the problem was that
you can't
even before
uh,
what?
like that particular experience. That one is just it's a constant in my school.
That
Like
everything
you
is
can
every
ask
good thing
Dara.
is leaving.
Dara is one of the new students. Dara came in at the beginning of year 10. Yeah, but then at like
Mm-hmm.
the original sets in my school, in my class particularly, not half of them are actually still in school. It's that bad. So like I had so many friends. I had so many friends, a potential love interest that I won't speak about. But then I had a lot of friends, and then all of them actually just like disappeared. So now the set is just empty, and I feel like that
Mm-hmm.
emptiness is something that we need to sort it out because like it's a painful topic really. Think about it. In junior school, we were in dorms. So in dorms,
Yeah.
everybody is waking up to seeing each other person's faces. So like we were a family then. We were
Mm-hmm.
family. We were friends. We could actually like talk to ourselves, and then we could relate with each other's struggles because we could understand ourselves. But then now, as we go to school, everybody just got dumped into different rooms. Everybody's by themselves, and then that thing is really disorienting because at this point in time, where we're growing like pretty fast, and then everybody is expecting
Mm-hmm.
every single person. It's a lot of stress to do that alone. So I now have half of my sets in different countries all over the entire world, so like it doesn't really help. It doesn't help.
And apart
But
from
then
like, can I
it's
can I
really
quickly say
nothing
something?
more. Yeah, you can. Sure.
Okay. So apart from like that feeling of every good thing that was in my life was leaving me, I also had, so before we left for quarantine was like the main thing that I wish someone told me about. Like it just,
Uh,
it's like a car coming to hit somebody and the person doesn't know. Like the
I'm
car
telling
just
you,
came.
like,
Like I didn't
do you
I
know
I didn't understand where it came from.
they pulled us out of school to actually we're writing
Daddy.
exams, and then we're supposed to have exams on Thursday and Friday. They stopped our exams on Wednesday and told us on Thursday we were leaving the school. We're like, why? And they told us quarantine. So I was shocked. Like I think it threw all of us off guard. And at that point in time, because we were now entering into senior school during the same period, it's like it didn't even make sense because of in that year nine class here, that is the SJ, we were supposed to be having a lot of advanced classes so that we could actually settle into senior school more easily. But then we didn't have that. My set, just my set in the entire school, didn't have that opportunity to actually prepare for year 10. So all of us went into year 10
Mm-hmm.
blind. We didn't know which subjects to pick. We didn't know how the entire system was going to work. We didn't know whether we could even write external exams. It was just blind and confused. So imagine carrying that
Personally,
confusion
I don't even know what.
same time with the mentality that nobody is with you, that everything good leaves you, like you said. That's just a lot of it's a lot of things to handle really. So nobody actually sees this. Nobody will tell you because they want to keep it in and show that they're actually okay. But it has to be said at some point, in my own opinion. I don't know about you.
I didn't. I concerning that whole COVID-19 quarantine stuff. I hope you guys can hear me. Concerning that whole COVID-19 quarantine stuff, I something like, can you guys hear me? Because what I'm about to say, I don't want to repeat it. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can, we
Can you
can.
guys
Go
hear
on.
me? Okay. So before quarantine, so like I don't know if it's only my school that does this, but like when you like a guy and the guy likes you back, so but you guys are not dating, so it's like that kind of relationship. I don't know if it's only my school that does this, but I know I was in that kind of position before quarantine. I was in that position before
Yeah.
quarantine, and after quarantine, we were talking all that kind of stuff. But then that was like before the lockdown was lifted. We were talking and all that kind of stuff, and I I kind of am happy that quarantine happened. It was something that I wish someone told me before that whole year nine, because it happened in year nine. Before that whole year nine period, is that Davina, do not enter a relationship if you know that you're not going to be yourself. Because authenticity is like the most important thing you can bring into a friendship or like dating relationship. Authenticity, like don't fake. Like that is the
Yeah.
best thing you can ever bring. And because I wasn't sure if this guy was going to like, oh, my regular self, I was forming. And after what do you call it? After, and I had my best friend around that period. So after quarantine, and my best friend left, and now the guy moved on. So I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? So that's beating yourself up kind of mentality. I wish someone told me that don't beat yourself up over things you can't control. Cause it's not like I could beg my best friend's parents to bring her back. And it's not like I could change anything that made the relationship to break. So I wish someone told me that, Davina, don't beat yourself up over things you can't control.
Hello?
That's something that I wish someone told me. Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, I can hear you, sorry.
Yeah, we're listening.
I think that authenticity part can also be related into friendships. So if you know that you're entering a friendship and you're noticing that you're not feeling comfortable in your own skin, you're not feeling yourself, and you think that you have to act a certain way for the person to want to be your friend, then please get out of that friendship. Just get out of the friendship. Just get out. Be going. Because true friends wouldn't want you to not be yourself. And the saddest thing personally is if I know someone for some time and then when they finally want to be themselves, it's like they're a whole new person. So just be yourself from the beginning. Just let them see who you really are, and if they accept you that way, then continue with the relationship. If they don't, then don't bother. I like a comment I saw in the chat. It says, change even. Wait, I'm trying to read it in the best way possible.
Okay.
Okay, change even for the better comes with some discomfort. I believe that's really really true because that change, I thought that there was something wrong with me. That, oh, this guy liked me before, but what happened? Not knowing that, Davina, maybe God didn't make you for him. Like that kind of whole thought. So we just have to realize that our temperaments are different. And
Yeah.
if you are currently in a
I think
deep,
that's one of the
like you
major
feel like
problems.
you're alone. Okay, yeah?
Okay, because like you know the quote by Albert Einstein that says if you give the fish the test to climb a tree, the fish will live his entire life believing that it's stupid. I feel like that's where
Mm-hmm.
the system messes up. Because to be very honest, there are different types of genius, a lot of different types of genius, and school, quite unfortunately,
Yeah,
teaches us just one.
everybody is smart in their own way.
Exactly. So I believe that if we actually had like a system that supported people having individual differences and abilities, like I know that's the I feel like it's not really adaptable, especially not in Nigeria, not in boarding school right now at least. Because think about it, it will mean that every single student that has their individual capability and the thing that they know how to do best will need some form of personal training. Because with that lack of mentorship, with that lack of a kind of familial setting that comes with you being a senior in boarding school, that kind of, I don't know, it's a French word, but then like I don't know what it means in English. Like when you are alone, basically, that's loneliness. That's it. That loneliness that you feel when you're having to go through all of these kind of things isn't really compatible with somebody putting you through a certain type of test and expecting a certain type of result. The thing is that like God reveals everything in time, and then people won't expect the time to be later than they had imagined because they wanted it to be at this certain time or at this certain period. So
Yeah.
I just feel like we have to understand things before we start to put tests. Like wait and understand the person from their own point of view. How are they coping through this system that you've already put them through? So it causes a lot of frustration. Funny story. I was actually even talking about this earlier today with my dad. In school, this last term, there was a lot of turmoil, and like discomfort, confusion among the setmates because it seemed like school was reducing our grades. It seemed like that because the mentality that they had was that they wanted to push us to be the best that we could be. So they didn't take it into account that a lot of people were already demoralized before they started to reduce the grades. So like some people were looking and thinking in their head, I'm trying, I'm honestly trying to do this thing. How is it still not working out? So with that kind of a thing, you're still expecting it's like an injured person. You give an injured person a ladder that's like 3 stories climb. How do you expect the person to finish climbing the ladder? So that kind of thing, it's actually sparks up a lot of anger, confusion, stress. And it got to the point here where me personally actually had to write a petition. I know it sounds absurd, but I actually wrote a petition and got all of my setmates to sign it. And we gave it to the management. And then at a point, a compromise, not really a compromise, but then they were able to calm us down. But then to get us to the point where we will vote against the system, isn't that what you're trying to avoid? So this, I don't know if you guys are Kung Fu Panda fan. I am. Master Ube said something. He was talking to Shifu when Shifu was being so uptight about having the panda as the dragon warrior. He said that one often meets his destiny on he takes to avoid it. So if this educational system, this secondary school system that boarding house usually offers, that is so rigorous, even though yes, it helps us and everything, if you're trying to prevent something so hard, then you will just end up causing it. Because I feel like that's how fate it mocks us to some extent. I don't know. Maybe you guys should share your thoughts on this as well. What do you think?
Could you repeat the quote from Kung Fu Panda so I can share my thoughts?
Okay, he said Ugwe said that one often
Mm-hmm.
meets his destiny on the road that he takes to avoid it. That's exactly how it's written.
Okay. So like either way, you're going
Yeah.
to get to that
So
point.
that exactly. So it's like, okay, if someone is determined to do something and then the thing that the person wants to do, it has a good cause. Yes, it has a good cause. The thing that the person wants to do has a good cause. Like you're doing it for the greater good or something, but then it might be dangerous. And then somebody else, usually a protective person, maybe a family member, is trying to restrict you from doing that thing. All that family member is going to do is to aggravate you even more to do it because it's like, why are you trying to oppose me? This thing is right. I'm trying to do the right thing for once, and you're still
Mm-hmm.
stopping me from doing it. Why? So I feel like instead of trying to restrict the person from doing what the person has to do, what the person feels is right in his heart, you should support them and hope for the best. So I don't know. I don't know. Share your thoughts.
I'm really,
Okay,
really thinking.
okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Basically, what I like saying to myself when I find myself in reckless
Yeah.
situations or very important situations is you can either get whatever you're going through like through you, or you can get through it. So you can pick one of the two. Although like yeah, they might sound very similar, they're actually quite different in a way. And what it means is that you can get what you are going through across it, like you can get it or you can get through it whichever way you want. But
Wait,
that
Davina, are you
doesn't
speaking? No.
that
Or we,
I'm not
let's try to
talking.
get Dara to
Is
come in.
Dara Simi is the one that is talking?
Okay, Dara is talking right now. Oh, okay, okay. Sorry,
Yes,
I
he
yeah,
was
was
a bit
talking.
okay.
absent-minded. Talk so
Yeah.
many things like this today.
So to be able to test how strong you are mentally, physically, and just probably like most importantly emotionally, because when we're dealing with secondary school and then boarding house, you are away from your family, right? And then the only people you actually have to rely upon are probably the counselor, which is not a very good idea. Alpha will understand what I'm talking about, by the way. You don't like you need to
Like
meet
that's
someone
8:45. Wow,
who has been
time
through
really does go.
you need to meet someone who has been exactly what you've been through to be able to understand how to deal with it. Not like in that stage, not particularly, but to be able to compromise what you are going through, they need to understand it best. You know, there's this saying that says like what you don't know can kill you. So in order to avoid the death, you need to understand it better. So I feel like you can get through it and not get it through, because once you get it through, then you just basically made it win over yourself, over your emotions, over your body, and then that way you lose your sense of humanity, and then you forget who you are. But if you can get through it,
Bring it
can you hear
again.
me?
Yes,
You can hear me.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'll
Yes.
continue. Okay, so you have to be able to test how strong you are, like in any case. So that doesn't backfire at you
Hmm.
later in the future because you don't leave what's meant to be done today for tomorrow because in the end it's still going to come back. Like what Alpha said about that Kung Fu Panda quote, like one meets his destiny on the road, uses like to avoid it. So either ways it's a loop, like a paradox. You can't avoid it. So either ways it's going to come. And then in secondary school, you're going to go through. I wish someone told me about the fact that you were going to go through a lot of emotional changes. Like yes, they told
Mm-hmm.
us about puberty, but then they didn't really give us details. Nobody gave us the details. Like it feels like your brain might be like intentionally playing with you for reasons you might not know. And that's just heartbreaking if you think about it. Like you keep wondering, you keep asking yourself why you get yourself into very stupid situations, and then you might
Yeah.
just be on your bed and you might just look up to the ceiling and think, how did I get to this situation? Like how am I where I am right now?
Mm-hmm. Is there a Simi still here? Because I like the topic you just brought up.
And what was that?
How people we were told about puberty and all the physical changes, but we weren't told about emotional
Oh my days.
changes, like our brain. And he was like, "It's like your brain is." I think
Wait,
he's back. He'll continue.
wait.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, this is that.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Fine.
Sorry, I just so they didn't tell me one thing. Nobody. So sorry, my connection is off, like really off. Is this better?
I can hear you, but
Okay,
you're not
so
on the. But I
you
can't.
can't see me, but you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Just listen to my
Yeah,
voice. You can hear me properly, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
yeah, it is.
you need to be able to deal with whoever comes your way. But what people need to realize is that nobody can do it alone. I always thought like I could do everything alone. Not everything though, because I have my weak areas, and then if you can't accept where you're weak, then that's going to kill you. That's going to cause a lot of problems for you later on in the future. You understand me? So one person I go through, or one person I go to each time I have problems is Alpha. And I remember all those late nights where our hostel parents tell us to go to bed, and then there's just me in front of Alpha's door knocking. Not like he's not opening the door, but it's just I need someone to talk to and disturb. But I know like there's other guys I can try that with, but I know Alpha won't have my time, and then he's like my older brother, like that brother I never had. So like I just go to his room most of the time to like talk out my problems, and then he advises me on some things like what I do and what I shouldn't do. So I feel like everyone should have that one person. That's what I feel. And if that one person leaves, fine. That doesn't reduce anything from you. It doesn't kill you. You just have to continue. We move.
I never really knew
So that's
that
what I
boys
think.
went through emotional trauma. I thought it was just
Oh no, we
like when
do.
people.
Boys go through a lot
Like
of
I didn't
emotional
know.
Are
trauma, like
you?
a
Are
I
you?
lot.
Are you?
didn't know.
No, 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 no.
Like
It's
sometimes
not
it's
like. See,
ridiculous, but
can I
it
quickly say something on
happens.
that? Can I quickly say something on that? That's
Mhm.
emotional. Something I don't know. I think side of is that we do, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we do. But then when you do, who is going to care?
It depends on who you talk to,
That was the
really.
point. Because no, like I okay, maybe I need to like explain to you. You know, I used
Yes, you
the
do.
illustration about the dorms moving to rooms and everything. Like, especially in my school, junior, everything is easygoing, everything is like calm and stuff. But then I don't know, I feel like it's the stereotype that we've been born into. And then me, that's personally what I want to do with my life. I want to break all of these stereotypes because they really don't make sense. Why is it that something that happened years ago, how many years ago, is still disturbing how people should function now? How does it still govern and decide what we
Sheesh.
can't see, what we can do, what we can't do now? How come is it that those things that they did then is what is making us who we are now? We are in different circumstances. Technology has
Mm-hmm.
evolved, relationships have evolved, so many things have happened. Medically, we're not even the same anymore. We're evolved scientists and everything. So, like, you can't expect. But the thing is that the stereotype is so powerful. It has this thing back in it's called social media. Before, in the times of my and then the people above him, there weren't things like Instagram, there weren't things like Snapchat, there weren't things like even Twitter. So all of these social media apps and everything, they did not exist at the time. And then because of that, everybody was to some extent. There wasn't any reason that you had to fake anything. So it's not like if you are personally not a fan of sports as a boy, you just don't play the sport. It's not like you go on Instagram and you have to make a video of you playing football that you actually don't know how to play, but you just learn for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't have to pretend to conform to the stereotype. It's the fact that fame, it's the fact that success, fame, and then I don't know, is it wealth or something, or this imagination, this idea of wealth, so much tied to the stereotypes that we've created. If the person doesn't drive a Lamborghini, the person isn't wealthy. If the person doesn't have the latest iPhone or latest watch, the person isn't wealthy. But then trust me, if you actually go and look at the wealthiest people on earth right now, people like Jeff Bezos, people like what's his name? Elon Musk, Tesla, Mark Zuckerberg, these people go to work every day in a t-shirt and jeans. They could pass off in a crowd full of random people, not tourists that are wearing any special clothes or anything, completely random people. They ride subways. So like I feel like it's the stereotype. There are a few brave people. Dara is one of them. And that's why me, I personally couldn't like push him away because think about it. He's new to me at least for
Mm-hmm.
I've only known him for about a year. And then I'm entering senior school where life is a lot more stressful. Like I'm having my SAT, my WAEC, my IG that I'm thinking about when am I going to write this, when I'm going to do this thing. So
Mm-hmm.
life is really stressful right now. But then I saw that braveness, that ability to actually be able to defy the system in him. And then that thing is enough and it's not called the magnet. What they do, they attract. So I just feel like we just need more people like that. Because funny enough, that's how social media works. It's not good and it's not bad. It is just powerful. So if we actually get to a point where we have enough people that are not afraid to express the true meaning of life, the diversity and the uniqueness of what a life is, then
Hello? I think uh,
before we wrap up, I'm going to transfer over to you guys. I will allow you guys to do the final words. I think I've spoken enough for this night. So maybe Dara should start first. Dara, do you have anything to say?
Darcy, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. You were just
Okay.
like glitch.
Yeah, you should be able to. Okay.
I can hear you guys. I can hear you guys. Okay, now I can't hear you guys. You're like glitching
No, we
a
weren't
lot.
saying anything. So Alpha wants us to end, and he wants to know what you have to say. So what do you have to say?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, but you weren't. I don't think you were saying anything before.
No, I wasn't saying anything before.
So could you say something?
Yeah. I can see you guys now.
So can you say something?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, basically, we don't have much time left, so let me just be
go on.
quick. So, I feel like for every young person listening, if you are listening right now, guys that haven't been to secondary school or guys that are still in
Okay.
primary school, I don't know any other name for that, or guys that are still in primary
I
school.
feel like
I feel like, not to be
Davina should be able to take
pessimistic
over
or
now.
anything, you should
We're not
prepare.
right. We're not really clear with where Dara is right now. He's kind of cracking. So maybe Davina
Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear
over.
him.
She
I
can hear
can
See,
hear
me.
what do you have
Dara.
to say? Any final remarks? Or you can hear him. You can hear him.
I can hear him loud and clear.
Okay. 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 Oh,
So he could just finish off, then I would say. So Dara,
No.
Dara, just finish off.
Oh.
Dara, just finish off. Then I would. So should I just? Shadow of Law says Nigerian network. Yeah, Nigerian network is actually very sad. It's very sad.
it is really. Don't worry, over time we'll get down. After all, it is my first time. You can't blame me. You can't blame me.
Dara, your mic is muted. That's why we can't hear you.
To be honest, there's a lot of other things that people need to say, people need to be aware of. That all of us can like actually begin to come
Can
to
you hear me?
terms with the things that we need to
Yes, we
say,
can hear you now.
things that we need to express. Like, what's the point of hiding it?
So should I quickly? Okay, so someone says Davina, please go ahead. Let me just quickly say something to end. So things I wish
Okay.
I knew about secondary school. Things I wish I knew. I knew about secondary school before I entered is that grades don't make you. That's that. I think that goes for if you are at the top or if you are at the bottom. Just because you get good grades doesn't necessarily mean that. Okay, when
Yeah.
people, because I get pretty okay grades, I mean, that's like 90 percentile. And people are like, people, not even those people, a particular person is always like, just because you get good grades doesn't mean you make it in life. So, like, I think that
Yeah,
also applies to just because you get bad grades doesn't mean that you won't make it in life. So, your grades, you shouldn't let any bad thing that is happening in your environment determine how your life will end up. Personally, there's a particular quote I made, and I like to say, I don't know how to say it word for word. I put it on my Instagram. I don't know how to say it word
yeah,
for word, but I would try. I'm literally scrolling down my Instagram to check for the quote. But then I know that I mentioned that your future. Okay, okay, I found it. I found it. So it says your current situation doesn't predict your future situation. It only impacts it. You make the choice on the type of impact it will have. So just because a bad thing is happening doesn't mean that bad things will forever happen. You just have to, it's how you see the bad situation that affects your future. So anything that's happening to you right now in secondary school, just trust the process. And just because someone had or someone developed social anxiety during secondary school doesn't mean that you too you develop social anxiety during secondary school. We're all different. My
yeah,
experience and all the different things I wish people told me before secondary school might not even be the same things you wish people told you before secondary school. So do not be embracing people's experiences and be having anxiety over it. Please don't. And
yeah.
be yourself. Just be who you are and be comfortable in your own skin.
We pray all of us are able to like find comfort in our own way. Because these are troubling times. I feel like what we're doing right now is what we need. Like what oh sorry, pardon my English. You, Dara, and I, what we're doing right now is what we need. We need more people to actually speak out because he knows where to change it. So on that note, I want to thank you both for having an amazing conversation with us. We hope
You're
that my
welcome.
mom will not see this as a flop. We hope that she doesn't see this as a flop and never let me do this. I actually I really enjoyed this. I like having you guys on set with me talking about things like this. Because if I do this, I don't know why it is a crime or it's a but then I don't know. I just get that kind of vibe. So for what it's worth, for having an amazing conversation with us, and then we will see you all next time, including you all that are watching. Bye for now.
Is the life over or are we still live?